What are you doing?
In 1975, Michael Brown is a convicted murderer.
I believe he's a sociopath. I believe he has no conscience.
15 years later, he escapes from an Oklahoma prison.
I just wanted just to know what it was like to be free for a while.
He and his wife assume new identities and lead a double life.
He's the kind of guy that you'd invite over for dinner.
Investigators will not rest until this fugitive is back behind bars. Criminals sometimes try to escape from justice. This is the story of how one man almost got away with it. (11 p.m., May 14th, 1975. 3 teenagers arrive at a Tulsa, Oklahoma insurance company. It's their latest target in a string of neighborhood burglaries. 18-year-old Michael Brown is the ringleader. Brown heads to the back of the building with his accomplice, 15-year-old Dennis Woodward. 17-year-old Dolores Strange waits outside with a getaway car.
Dennis and I went to the back of the building and broke out a window, crawled in through that. And we were inside, just going through desks, looking for money.
As the 2 teenagers ransack the office, businessman Richard Sullivan pulls into the parking lot with his wife and daughter. He's just returned from a business trip. At the last minute, he decides to stop by the office to pick up a file.
Hey, come on, let's just get out of here, okay? Quiet, Dennis.
Sullivan walks into his office.
Okay. What are you doing?
Just out of the blue, this guy just walks in on us. We never heard him enter, never heard him come in. It just all of a sudden, we were all 3 upon each other, face to face.
Give me your wallet.
Woodward pulls out a .22 caliber pistol.
Give me your wallet. Get it out. It's okay. Just give him your wallet. And,
When he starts to panic, Brown quickly takes charge.
I said turn around.
Right. Then walk over to the wall. What did you do?
Fear is the only thing that I can even possibly think of as my motive for picking the gun up and just pointing it at the man and pulling the trigger, you know.
Meanwhile, Sullivan's wife and daughter are waiting in the car when they hear a loud blast.
I just heard a noise.
They find a security guard and ask him to check on her husband.
Hey, let's go. Come on.
The 2 boys rush from the scene.
I ran, you know. I don't remember running back through the building. I don't remember going out through the window we came in, but that was what happened. And I ran and went home to my mom's house.
They walked away with $30. They killed a man for $30.
The security guard notices the open window. He sees a crumpled body lying on the floor.
Sir, you all right? Hey.
After further investigation, he delivers the news to Mrs. Sullivan and her daughter.
The victim was shot dead between the shoulders, in the back, no exit. 22 caliber pistol, automatic, so it was quite apparent that he was simply executed.
Detective Charles Sasser of the Tulsa Police Department has investigated dozens of homicide cases. He arrives on the scene the next morning.
When you're working a homicide case, you have to look at all angles. Now, looking at the scene, I say burglary.
Sasser examines the evidence closely. The crime scene hints that the job was carried out by amateurs.
If you're a professional burglar, you're going to break in somebody who has furs. You're going to break in somebody who's got jewels. You're going to break someplace that you can make some money. Insurance companies don't keep money.
With no eyewitnesses, Sasser has a grueling investigation ahead of him. Meanwhile, Michael Brown goes on with life as if nothing has happened.
After that happened, I didn't see Dennis or Dolores. I avoided them mostly because I didn't want to talk about it with nobody. I didn't want to remember it. I didn't want it brought up. And maybe they were trying to stay away from me as much as I was trying to stay away from them, you know. I am sorry to say this, but it is the truth. I had totally forgot about it. It was completely out of my mind by then.
Detective Sasser begins looking for possible suspects in the area.
What you do is work snitches, informants. And most of your informants are petty thieves. And you keep a whole little staff of them around. Names start popping up because they don't want to be associated with the murder.
At the local rec center, they question anyone who might have inside information on the recent neighborhood burglaries. 12 days after the murder, Sasser gets a promising tip from a couple of informants.
Mike Brown said he did something.
They said a guy named Mike and a guy named Dennis were pulling a bunch of these burglaries. So I run them through the police files, and they're petty burglars. They've been busted.
It turns out that Brown and Woodward aren't new at this. Sasser knows one of the suspects, Dennis Woodward.
These guys are your age. Yeah.
Denny Ray Woodward, I had known him since he was 6 months old.
The next day, Sasser waits for Woodward to show up at the rec center. He's got one problem. Sasser needs information, but Woodward can't be questioned without a lawyer present. But Sasser's got a trick up his sleeve.
We're going to wait till Denny comes out of the rec center. Wait till he's crossing the street, and we're going to come down on him like gangbusters. We're going to scare the holy living hell out of him.
Hey, on the ground, get down. Get down, buddy. Right here, right here. I didn't do anything. You're under arrest.
After throwing cuffs on Woodward, Sasser starts to toy with
I
him.
didn't do anything.
And I say, I don't want to question you, Denny. I have nothing to say to you. I have all the evidence I know. You're guilty of murder. You're going to the seat, kid.
Right now, we have no.
Sasser gets Woodward to do exactly what he wants.
You understand your rights.
He's jumping up and down. He's hyper. He's jumping up and down. Mr. Sasser, Mr. Sasser. Denny, shut up. I can't talk to you. And Denny Ray said, Mr. Sasser, I didn't do it. Mike Brown did it. He did it. I was there. I saw him.
I didn't know he was gonna kill anybody. He pulled out a gun and he shot the guy. I didn't know. Okay.
I've got him. There's no way that he can back out now. I mean, that's a spontaneous confession. And I had told him a number of times not to talk to him. And so that led to a statement.
Sasser gets another break. The stress gets to Dolores Strange. She comes into the police station and confesses.
It looked like she lost 10, 15 pounds that month. I mean, she was in bad shape. And her conscience was really bothering her.
With Woodward and Strange in custody, Detective Sasser's next step is to hunt down Michael Brown, the alleged mastermind of the crime. Sasser knows he's dealing with a cold-blooded murderer.
Interesting thing what Dolores told us that night. After the shooting, Michael Brown says, Dolores, I just shot a man. I just shot him. He says, if I'd have had another bullet, I'd have shot his eyes out.
On May 31st, 2 weeks after the murder, Sasser finally tracks down Michael Brown at his mother's house.
We'll go real early in the morning, try to surprise this kid so we don't have to kill him. Mother comes to the door. I just push her out of the way.
Hell out of here! You are not allowed in my house! Get the hell out of here! We're not getting inside!
I go right on through, and she's grabbing at me and hitting at me, this kinds of thing, and she's calling me everything in the world.
You get out of my house! Get out of my house!
Get her off! Get her off me! Get her back!
No! Let me!
As Sasser and his partner rush inside, Brown quietly waits in his room. He won't go down without a fight. May 31st, 1975.
What are you doing?
2 weeks after murdering a man in cold blood,
What did you do?
18-year-old Michael Brown is on the run. Authorities have finally tracked him down and are about to arrest him. Detective Sasser and his partner head straight for Brown's bedroom.
I kicked the bedroom door in, just ran the shotgun up, and, right in his face, and I said, "Don't move or you're a dead man."
Don't move, you're dead.
As Sasser points his shotgun, he looks Brown square in the eyes.
The interesting thing about Mike is he had these like gray blue eyes, no change of expression whatsoever. I mean, he's like he's almost empty.
Get up! Hands behind your back.
It was like I just froze, and all I could think of was, I hope they don't arrest me. I hope they don't find out that I did it.
Baby boy, you can't do this to us. Oh, don't take my baby away.
Inside the interrogation room, Sasser knows that Brown won't break down easily.
He's not going to tell me a word. I would call him a sociopath. No conscience. I was a cop 14 years. I've arrested hundreds of killers. But this 18-year-old boy was the coldest, emptiest kid I'd ever run across.
You don't want to talk. I understand. Well, I have someone here who might want to say something to you.
Once again, Sasser uses Dennis Woodward to his advantage. He decides to pit the two friends against one another.
I bring Denny Ray to the door. I want them to confront each other. And Denny Ray says, "You killed him, Mike."
Man, I already told him everything, okay? Just tell him, all right? Just tell him that you killed him. Thank you, Dennis.
You grow up around people and you've always telling each other, if we get caught, we don't say a word. I mean, that was just the code, you didn't say nothing. And all I could think of was just despised him, I felt like he was weak.
Mr. Brown,
Michael Brown goes on trial for murder in October 1975.
Murder is a capital offense.
A jury finds him guilty of first-degree murder. His sentence, the death penalty.
I sentence you to death by electrocution.
Throughout the trial, just no emotion whatsoever. Once in a while, he would glare at Denny or glare at Dolores because they're copping on him. But other than that, there was nothing.
Brown barely survives his first year on death row.
Door 3.
But I spent the first year just feeling totally sorry for me. Life in that cell was just, it was beyond monotonous. It was just the most boring situation you could ever find yourself in, with absolutely nothing to do.
Leonard.
Then, a glimmer of hope. On July 6, 1976, the U.S. Supreme Court declares that the death penalty in Oklahoma is unconstitutional. 36 prisoners have their sentences commuted to life. Michael Brown is one of them. He must serve 15 years before he's eligible for parole. Although the future looks dim, Brown tries to make prison life more bearable. He spends the next 8 years laying low and staying out of trouble.
And all I wanted to do was get a job so I could be out moving around every day instead of being locked down.
Letter.
January 1984. Brown receives an unexpected letter. It's from a woman named Donna Moses, a local churchgoer who corresponds with inmates.
The letter from Donna, it was just something I needed at that time. I was just becoming so full of hate again. And I wrote her back, and we started exchanging letters. And eventually I asked her if she wanted to come up and visit me.
Before long, Donna begins visiting Brown every weekend. They quickly fall in love. And on August 31st, 1984, they get married at the Howard McLeod Correctional Facility.
I thought the world of her. She was a wonderful woman. You know, I don't think anybody in my life has ever loved me that much or shown that to me like that, you know, but she was a very easy person to fall in love with.
Brown can't bear to be apart from his new bride. He soon comes up with a plan. First, he asks for a transfer to a minimum security work camp. On November 20th, 1984, Brown is moved to Jess Dunn Correctional Center in Taft, Oklahoma, 1 hour north.
There was a correctional officer at the desk, you know, that was checking people in and checking people out. They had open yard areas. There was no one standing over you all the time.
At the new prison, Brown is reunited with an old friend from death row, Willie Davis.
Willie was in prison for stabbing his landlord to death. I had a very loyal bond to Willie, you know, I mean, we'd gone through death row together.
Together, they team up to hatch a plan to break out of prison.
I just wanted 6 months of freedom. That was all I wanted, just to know what it was like to be free for a while.
Brown recalls one of the books he read while on death row. He studies it feverishly.
One of the books I read while I was on death row was called The Paper Trip, and it was supposed to be an illegal book in prison. It was a manual. It went into pretty good in-depth detail on how to totally establish a new ID that was untraceable.
On December 4th, 1984, after settling in at the new prison for just 13 days, Brown and Davis are ready to escape. They hatch a plan to escape from prison work duty on a dairy farm.
There was a count at 6 o'clock in Oklahoma in the wintertime. After they had 6 o'clock count, that's usually when the dairy farmer people would go out.
Brown and Davis blend in with the other inmates on work duty. Then they sneak away. They head straight for a prearranged meeting spot where Donna will be waiting for them. When they arrive, Donna is nowhere to be found.
Well, where is she? She'll be here. I thought you said she was going to be here. She's going to be right here. She'll be right here. Oh.
Finally, they spot a truck driving towards them.
Well, there was a lot of excitement, you know. I was just on edge, you know, very much on edge, but I was very happy and excited to be with my wife, you know.
Oh my God.
Hey, buddy. All right, let's go.
The trio drives 100 miles east to Fort Smith, Arkansas, where Donna has an apartment ready for them. Brown knows that they're in good shape. They've had a decent head start.
8 o'clock p.m. would have been the next count, and that's when they would have discovered that we were missing.
Back at the prison, authorities realize that Brown and Davis have escaped.
This is 21. We got 2 missing.
They notify the FBI about the missing fugitives. FBI Special Agent Eric Paris investigates the case.
We opened an investigation and started contacting family members of the Browns in Oklahoma.
Authorities question Donna's brother. He tells the cops that Donna disappeared days ago and that he's already filed a missing persons report. Police fear for Donna's life.
Tragically, there are people that assist fugitives in escaping only later to be murdered when they're no longer of use. Donna looks like a victim here. He's a convicted murderer. She doesn't know everything about him. My concern was that probably he had done away with her. It's very likely.
Meanwhile, Brown, Donna, and Davis decide to stay on the move. They drive from Arkansas to Paris, Texas. As they settle down, Brown slowly adjusts to life outside the prison walls.
I had trouble sleeping on a bed when I first got out because I'd spent so many years sleeping on concrete and metal bunks. That first night, I don't think I slept at all. I was just so keyed up. I was afraid. Every siren I heard, every car I heard outside, I just knew they were coming to get me, you know. I mean, I had one shot and one shot only.
A week after the escape, the Oklahoma police get a solid lead. They discover that the trio might be hiding out in Texas.
They had developed information that at an apartment building, Donna Brown may be residing with two males.
The police rush to the apartment building.
That's the perp woman. That's the perp guy. Everybody's considered armed and dangerous, most definitely.
Outside, they come up with a plan.
From this door, keep it this way.
Authorities know they're just moments away from catching their man. They wait for the signal.
Freeze!
December 10th, 1984. Paris, Texas. Convicted murderer Michael Brown has just escaped from an Oklahoma prison. After a promising tip, officers know exactly where Brown has been hiding out with his wife Donna and fellow inmate Willie Davis. Police prepare to raid the apartment.
Freeze!
By then, the apartment had already been vacated. They missed Donna and her two male companions by about 30 minutes.
Room's empty. There's no one here. We return.
By that time, the threesome is already on their way to Lexington, Kentucky, over 700 miles away.
I figured our best bet would be to find a city that consists of like 100 to 150,000 people because it wasn't too big to where you get lost, but it was, you know, big enough to hide you in.
As soon as they arrive in Lexington, they establish fake identities.
We went to the graveyard where like you go and find someone that was born about the same time that you were, and you go to the library and get on the old newspapers and they'd tell you the name of the parents and the hospital they were born at. You just send them a money order for $10 and they'd send you back a birth certificate.
After securing birth certificates, they need just one other form of ID to get Social Security cards. Brown and Donna come up with a perfect plan. They'll marry again under their new names and get a marriage license.
So my wife and I, we went and got married with our birth certificates and took those two pieces of ID to the Social Security office and went in and applied for Social Security card. Once that came in the mail, took the Social Security card, the birth certificate, and got a picture ID made up. Within a few weeks, you had a driver's license.
Brown and Donna use the aliases David and Sherry Gregory. Every day, the three fugitives search the want-ads for jobs.
Here we go.
They find a job installing cable TV in multiple cities across the country.
The only thing they needed you to do was own a pickup truck and get there.
In January 1985, the threesome heads to their first gig in Ocean City, New Jersey. While in the car, they start making plans for the future. All of a sudden, Brown notices a cop flashing his lights. As they pull over, the three of them begin to panic. The officer tells Brown he was speeding.
I'm sorry.
Brown hands over his fake driver's license. If the license doesn't come back clean, it's over. The officer soon returns to the car. He gives Brown a speeding ticket and walks away. The three of them breathe a huge sigh of relief.
The only way they were ever going to really prove who I was if they got a hold of my fingerprints.
Now, Brown knows his new identity is foolproof.
I realized that there's too many people out there committing crimes for them to be worried about somebody that was not out there making a problem for them.
After arriving in New Jersey, Brown and Davis get to work right away.
You could make $100 a piece a day out there hanging the cable, and the money was coming in. It was good.
The three of them comfortably settle into their new lives.
Pull up slack on it, could you?
But 6 months later, things go south. The company suddenly stopped sending their paychecks.
When the money stopped coming in, and we were more or less working for nothing, the amount of money that he owed us was steadily piling up.
Brown, Donna, and Davis decide to quit their jobs and return to Lexington, Kentucky. Yet Davis can't get over the money he's owed, nearly $2,000.
Willie would call every week. Every week he'd call that guy and ask for the money. And he just could not let it go. You know, I even told him, man, forget it.
I'm not going away. You give us our money.
Finally, after 2 months, the company's manager agrees to meet Davis.
Okay, fine. He's going to pay us.
Willie, you are really not going to go over there and meet this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to meet him.
My wife begged him not to go. I mean, she just really felt like something wasn't right.
Okay.
Good, Willie. I have a bad feeling about this.
I know you do. I know you do. We're on location now. What he is going to come to the park.
Donna's instincts are right. The meeting is a setup. The company manager discovered the men were fugitives. The cops are getting ready to trap Davis.
He's coming. Let's go. Let's go.
On October 24th, 1985, Davis heads to a Kentucky motel to collect the money.
Freeze, police! Please, get down, right now.
Kentucky State Police confronted him, and when he was confronted, he made a quick gesture as if he was reaching for a weapon, and one of their troopers shot him in the left arm.
Cuff. Code 4.
Although Davis is injured, he survives the attack.
He had no interest in talking to the FBI or any law enforcement about the whereabouts of Michael Brown.
When Davis doesn't return home after several hours, Brown and Donna begin to worry that something has gone horribly wrong.
We knew at that time something was not right. We turned on the news that night, and that was when they had that on there about the Kentucky State Police shooting Willie.
Brown and Donna are shocked at the news. Then things get worse. They watch in horror as their photos and aliases are plastered on the screen.
So all of a sudden we're here just totally exposed, you know, I mean, and our pictures are right there on the television. And all I could think of was we didn't have transportation, we didn't have nothing.
Davis is sent back to prison, while Brown quickly buys a used car. They pack up and decide to head for Dayton, Ohio, 2 hours north.
We both had thought Dayton might be a nice place, so our funds were low. I think we had maybe $400 or $500, and we had to pretty much go into the worst part of Dayton that there was to be able to afford something.
The couple work honest jobs and struggle for 6 months to make ends meet. Life finally turns around for the Browns. They get steady jobs, move into a nicer apartment, and start to establish credit. No one ever questions their aliases. They have no contact with their families or Donna's children. And for the next 8 years, the couple builds a new life for themselves under their false names.
I didn't wake up in the morning dreading anything, man. I mean, I woke up with a big smile on my face every day, and I was happy.
But for Brown, the paranoia would never completely go away.
America's Most Wanted. I remember when they started advertising for that, I was totally paranoid. As I'd watch these shows every week, and you had to, just to make sure you weren't on there.
It's been 9 years since Brown escaped from an Oklahoma prison. In January 1993, Brown decides to start his own business.
We sold everything except our bed and a little portable TV, and we came up with like $5,000 altogether.
They named the store K&L Video, which stands for their new aliases, Kenneth and Linda Ginter. Brown hires a small staff to help him run the business, including Dolores Gray, a regular patron of the neighborhood video store.
I was doing bookkeeping and off and on running his store.
It's what's it called? Angel Man?
All the kids would come in there and they would feel comfortable with Kenny. He was a very nice guy, very caring, loved kids. I mean, he was just like he was one of the family members.
Brown begins to feel as though he's leaving his old self behind.
I was ashamed of who Mike Brown was, and I was proud of who Kenneth Ginter was, because I was a good man out there, and I wish I could have been that person the rest of my life. I really do.
He was like an icon of the community. I mean, everybody knew him. They knew his store. The whole neighborhood went there. You know, instead of like to the big video stores, they'd go to his store.
Still, Brown takes extra precautions to make sure his identity stays hidden.
He was private as far as what phone calls came in. We were not allowed to answer any phone calls coming into the store if we didn't recognize the name.
After several months, K&L Video is a success.
The store was just, it was a gold mine. And it was like in a matter of 6 months, you know, we were just making money.
Back in Oklahoma, the FBI hasn't forgotten about this case. It's been 12 years since Michael Brown escaped from prison. Agent Perez refuses to let the case go cold.
The challenge was for me to find out how to stir up Michael Brown's world, how to bring him out of hiding, wherever he was.
Perez gets a lucky break. A newly launched crime series agrees to profile Michael Brown. In October 1997, they begin interviewing family members and investigators involved in the case. Donna's children agree to be interviewed on camera. Authorities hope it will pressure Donna out of hiding.
They were very excited about the possibility of getting their mom back, and they both readily agreed to interviews, and they sat and basically talked to their mom and told her she was a grandmother and she didn't even know it. So it was very touching.
Don't make the same mistake again. Come home, be with your family.
Weeks before the show is scheduled to air, the FBI kicks into high gear. Perez pulls together surveillance teams in Washington, California, and various locations in Oklahoma. They monitor phone lines and stake out all known relatives and friends.
I was going to be in the telecenter when the show was airing to assess leads rapidly as they came in. People are going to be calling and telling you, I've seen this guy, and we have to be ready to act.
The trap is set. The show is about to air. April 10th, 1998. A new crime show is about to profile the Michael Brown case. A fugitive and his wife, who have been on the run for almost 14 years. FBI agent Eric Perez has teams positioned across the country. Once the program airs, he's confident that they'll get a break in the case. Then, 1 hour before airtime, Perez gets an unexpected call.
Just before airtime, I got a call from my surveillance team in Oklahoma telling me that the show was being preempted for an Easter special in Oklahoma. And of all the locations we wanted this to air, we wanted it to air in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where Michael Brown's mother was living. Our best guess was that if this show was shown to her, she would run to the phone, or she'd run down the street and use a payphone.
It's bad news, but Paris still receives dozens of leads in other parts of the country.
That night, we sent out several dozen leads to law enforcement agencies around the country, and there were many people that were woken out of bed because their name was similar or they resembled the fugitive.
June 4th, 1999. Back in Ohio, one of Brown's neighbors, Gregory Gray, is browsing the America's Most Wanted website. He's surprised when he comes across a mugshot that looks exactly like Kenneth Ginter, the owner of the local video store where Gray's wife works.
Well, I was scrolling the internet, and I just happened to go to that page and just started scrolling down, and I saw the picture. And I looked twice. I knew it was him immediately. There was no doubt about it. I mean, the hair, the facial features, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. He was about 18 years old, but his looks have never changed.
Gray is shocked at the story he's reading.
There was no doubt that the picture was him, but the story did not match Kenneth Ginter. He's the kind of guy that you'd invite over for dinner.
About 20 minutes later, Gray gets a phone call. It's Brown.
Gregory, it's Kenneth. Hi. Hey, good. How are you?
He asked if Dolores was home, and at the time she wasn't. He was wanting her to come to work. I told him I saw a picture of him that looked just like him on America's Most Wanted.
Oh, really? Huh. That is weird.
I said, well, they say everybody's got a twin, That shot a big red flag up right there,
I pretty much blew it off at that point. And we went on just carrying on about normal things for a few minutes.
Bye.
After work, Brown and Donna look up the website. Horrified, they realize it's only a matter of time before someone turns them in. In addition, Donna's health is deteriorating. She's recently been diagnosed with congestive heart failure.
She started worrying she was never going to get to see her family again. She wanted to go back, and I didn't want to. I did not want to.
Gray, come home.
Meanwhile, Gray is still curious about the photo. He shows it to his wife, Dolores.
We were all in shock. We couldn't believe that was him, that he could have done something like that.
Gray wants a closer look at the identifying marks. The website indicates that Brown should have 2 tattoos on his arms. The word Mom on his left arm, and his initials MB on his right arm. He tells Dolores to look for these tattoos the next day.
I was very uncomfortable going back into the store. I had to make sure, my eyes didn't let him know that I knew who he was.
At work, Dolores tries to act normal. She quietly steals a glance at Brown's arms.
I was looking for the tattoos. Basically, how I identified him was the tattoo had Mom, and the other one had his initials. And that's when I knew for sure that was him.
The couple can't decide what to do. Should they turn Brown in?
We have hung out at the lodge together, on the way down to drinking a couple beers together. But it wasn't like he was a stranger at all.
2 days later, Gray picks up the phone and calls the FBI.
I put myself in the victim's shoes and realized that, this is the right thing to do.
In the meantime, Brown and Donna decide to pack up and go back on the run.
Tried calling him, wouldn't answer the phone. He disappeared, vanished.
So a new chase is on.
The FBI is hot on the trail. This time, they won't let Brown get away with it. June 1999. Fugitive Michael Brown and his wife Donna have been on the run for over 14 years. After starting a new life in Dayton, Ohio, a neighbor tells Brown about a mugshot on a crime website that looks exactly like Brown.
Oh, really?
Afraid that they will soon get caught, the couple leaves Ohio immediately.
We realize time is of the essence because Brown has gotten away before. If Ginter realizes that his new identity has been revealed, he's going to be running. He's going to be, in some cases, very careless. We've identified the truck he's driving in. We have identified his phone number, his cell phone number. We have identified the fact that Donna Brown is ailing, truly ailing.
Meanwhile, Brown's video store, K&L Video, is left unattended.
The place was left unlocked. I had to go secure everything. We had to put a sign on the door saying that it was closed until further notice.
Donna, who's been diagnosed with congestive heart failure, decides it's time to return to Oklahoma before it's too late. She's tired of running and misses her family.
When Donna first got sick, we were going to heart transplant clinics every other week, and then she took a turn for the worse. She started worrying she was never going to get to see her family again.
Brown feels he has only one choice.
She'd given up everything for me, you know. She still wanted me to be her husband, and so that was when I agreed to turn myself in. I didn't want to.
On June 29, 1999, Brown and Donna arrive at Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAlester. They quietly say their goodbyes to one another.
Everything in me is just screaming, man, do not do this, do not do this. So it's finally, I just told her, I said, look, we need to go do this before I change my mind. There comes a time in your life when you start realizing there's right and there's wrong, you know, and there's all these obligations, whatever you want. And it was time to come back.
After 14 and a half years on the run, Michael Brown turns himself in to prison authorities.
Mike Brown, I'm a fugitive.
In his possession are $125, a toothbrush, and a photo of his wife, Donna.
Donna was she was a wonderful woman. It was time for me to give up for her, you know. She gave 14 and a half years for me.
He was tired from the chase. He knew that we were never going to stop looking for him. He realized it was just a matter of time, and he gave up.
Donna Brown is never charged for her role in the escape. She is still married to Brown and is living a happy and healthy life in Oklahoma.
We've always treated Donna as a victim in this case, someone who bought into Michael Brown's overtures.
Today, Brown resides at the Oklahoma State Reformatory in the town of Granite. He still has 14 years left to complete his life sentence.
I served 20 years out of the last 34 in prison, and I just want to go home. You know, the one question the parole board asked everybody was, how do we know you can make it out there? I made it for 14 and a half years, and I made it because I wanted to show myself I wasn't the same person I was in 1974.
While he was on the run, Brown made a lasting impression on those who crossed his path.
I honestly believe he was a different person back then. The Michael I know would have not done something like that. So it's a shock to everybody and the community.
I was just relieved that he's back in custody where he needs to be. I was happy for the victims. The man who had killed their husband and father was now back behind bars.
Michael Wayne Brown belongs in prison for the rest of his life. It'll be a mistake to let a man like that back out on the streets.
Michael Brown lived a low-key life on the lam and almost got away with it. But after 14 and a half years, his run has finally come to an end.